Welcome back. Last night I attended Free Fridays at the Whitney Museum, New York City, to see the Amy Sherald exhibit. Amy Sherald is a painter in the Realism School of Art. The primary subjects of her work are ordinary Black Americans who are often excluded as the subject of realism as well as art in general in the US. Some critics describe Sherald's work as being about the interiority of Black people, specifically prioritizing our own peace and self realization over the perceptions of others and the shackles of history. She calls her project the wonder of what it is to be a Black American. Here are my current key takeaways on the theme of prioritizing our own peace and self realization over the perceptions of others and shackles of history. Or said another way, prioritizing our own peace and self realization over anti Black racism. First, in this display, Sherrod has two examples of the serious consequences of people's negative perception of Black people and the shackles of history. First, there's a portrait named Innocent Me, which addresses the adultification of Black youth. Specifically, Trayvon Martin, our darling Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old youth murdered in 2012 because of his race and attire. The second portrait is of our beloved Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old emergency room technician killed in March 2020 by the Louisville Metro Police Department. She was murdered because of the police negative perception of Black people. Prioritizing our own peace and self-realization require that we confront and eradicate anti-Black racism, aka dismantling those systems of oppression. Second, on an interpersonal level, I experienced while observing the exhibit some kind of anti-Black racism from other Black people. And I'm not bashing them because we all at one point or another was or have been prejudiced against another Black person because they're not Black in the way we want them to be. For example, I'm not a fan of elitist Black people who think everybody must check a certain elitist box. But I'm sure there are people in those groups who are salt of the earth. And there are people who consider me an elitist Black person. Anyway, let me give you the two examples of what happened there. So I tend to be in my head a lot and not focused out, especially when I'm in the museum. That's the point, right? To view the art. So I walked up to this piece and I was reading the inscription at the side. And because I didn't bring my reading glasses, I had to get as close as possible. A Black woman, light skinned, comes up and says hello, and I thought, wow, she's other mothering me, she's being kind. I said hello back in a warm voice, and she said, I said hello because you stood in front of me. I said, oh my, I'm so sorry. And I moved my body immediately and I said to her, I came close because I have reading issues, I need to see it close up. And she said, I understood. The thing is, she didn't understand really. I think she thought I was being rude, and then she stepped in front of me or beside me to show me up, to teach me something, and then she learned something. I wasn't being rude. I'm just in my head. I struggle to read things when I've been staring at the computer all day. My eyes get tired and I need my glasses, and I didn't have it. The second instance, I was in another room and I'm using my cell phone to take pictures. And I take a picture and I see someone coming quickly towards me, and it's the security guard, and he has a mask on. And I thought he was coming to tell me taking pictures are not allowed. He said, no, you have the flash on and flash is not allowed. So I opened my hand and I showed him and I said, no, I didn't have the flash on. And then And then he continued because I think he expected me to be confrontational and I wasn't. I just said, no, I didn't. And I showed him. And he just kept on saying, I saw it, I saw it, I saw it. And I said nothing in response because I have a little cell phone. My back was separating us. He was far across. What kind of cell phone could I have had that the flash was so bright he could see it from so far? And there were about 30 people in there, and you're so focused on me. When I was walking back, I thought about, because I'm in the museums all the time, I thought about what attracted those people's attention to me. And I found it was the way I was dressed. So I went there with dirty sneakers because they're comfortable, green slacks, and then I had on a beige hoodie sweater. But to top it off, I had my hair in braids and I wanted to keep it down, so I put on a yellow bandana like thing on it. So I guess I didn't look like museum people. And again, what is museum people? Everybody's museum people because art is for the people, by the people. But I guess I didn't look like what they realized I sound like. And it's like I am both those people. I'm the person who wanted to dress in an androgynous way, in a rough way, I guess, urban way, because we're in an urban space, and I'm also the person who can dress another way. So, yeah, it's people's perception and the boxes they need to put you in. And in both cases, they were like embarrassed when they realized they wanted this confrontational person and they got this non confrontational person. But again, don't get me wrong, there are some times when I am firm and direct and I'm not playing with anyone, but I get the choice to be those people and not have it forced on me. I get to choose my own peace and my own self realization, and people don't get to tell me how to be black. I'm just that. So I hope this causes you to think about your own peace and your own self-realization and the barriers that people put in your way, the system, white people, and even black people, and even yourself. Like, are you being who you really are? And if not, why not? Thanks for listening.